This is Miranda from the Wayne Public Library, and today we're going to work on our amigurumi. Amigurumi are small knit or crocheted creatures. They can be animals, plants, or people. When you pick your kit up from the library, you'll have a selection of various yarns, some eyes, some noses, a crochet hook, a needle, and a simple cat pattern, as well as a couple other additional patterns. First, we want to cover some basic crochet stitches. Amigurumi is a little bit, I would say it's intermediate. As if you know the basic crochet stitches, you're okay, but we're going to cover the basic stitches anyway, and there's a lot of resources online to help you with those early steps. Amigurumi aren't super complicated, but it is just helpful. And the pattern we're working with today is mostly single crochet, and a couple of variations of the single crochet stitches. Nearly all amigurumi is going to be knit or crocheted in the round. As an example, let's jump ahead to row 5. Row 5 reads single crochet in 3 stitches, then 3 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a repeated section of 6 single crochet and a 3 single crochet increase. That repeated section will be completed a total of 3 times. Then to finish out the round, you want to do 3 more single crochets. So this is going to be that row 5, but just to show you, just to brush up on the crochet skills that you'll need to be able to follow this pattern. So first we're going to do 3 single crochet. So for single crochet, you want to insert the hook into the stitch, and there's going to be those 2 loops on top, and then pull the yarn through, and then pull the yarn through again. And that's going to be your first single crochet. Okay, round 5 wants us to do 3 of those total. So there's 1, 2, 3. And right here where my thumb is, this is going to be the beginning of the round. All right, so after those first 3 single crochets, we're going to do 1, 3 single crochet increase. So this stitch right here is going to be the one we're going into, and it's a 3 stitch single crochet increase. So that means we're going to do 3 single crochets into this same stitch, and that's going to increase the total number of stitches in the round. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And if you look, you can sort of see how it's fanning out. And this particular amigurumi is going to be more of a cube shape. So these increases are going to create the corner. Okay, and then we're going to want to do the single crochet 6 times, and then another 3 stitch increase. And then after you do that, you'll repeat those last 2 steps 2 more times, and then you'll finish by doing 3 single crochet, and that will be the end of the round. So to start, we'll start with the magic circle method, which is a way of starting crocheting in the round. You'll take, this is the end of the yarn, you'll just wrap it around the fingers twice, and then you'll take your hook, go under, and this pattern is calling for 4 stitches. This does not count as your first stitch. That's going to be our first stitch right here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And the cool thing about the magic circle method is this tail you can pull, and it will tighten that beginning loop. So when you start in the round, as you continue, you won't be stuck with a big hole in the center right here. And then you can just continue down to that first stitch that you crocheted. Now, as I said, the first round said we're going to start with 4 stitches. So we have those first 4 stitches. And then the second round says that we're going to increase our stitches by making 3 single crochets into each stitch in the previous row. So when we're done with this row, this will bring us to 12 stitches total. So if you look, you'll just want to insert the hook into that first stitch. And we're doing 3 per stitch. So there's 1, then we're going back into the same stitch, 2, 3, and then we're moving on to the second stitch, 1, 2, 3, and then the third stitch, 1, 2, 3, and then now the last and final stitch, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to bring us to 12 stitches in our first row, or in our second round rather. And then in our third round, we're going to do 1 single crochet. So we'll do our 1 single crochet right here. And then it says 3 single crochet increase. So that means in the next stitch, that's where we'll do our 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then the next section we have is going to be repeated, and it's going to be 1 single crochet, and then a second single crochet, and then 3 single crochet in the next stitch. So we'll do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then we're going to do 3 in this increase stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you're going to repeat those past stitches 3 more times, or 2 more times, and then single crochet 2 more times. Now we finished round 3. So on round 4, it says to do 2 single crochet. So there's 1, and then 2. And then it wants us to do the 3 single crochet increase. So there's 1, 2, 3 in that same stitch. And then there's going to be a repeated section, which is going to be 1 single crochet, in the next 4. So it'll be 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then 1 3 single crochet increase. And then you'll repeat that section 3 times and then end with 2 more single crochet. Now I just finished crocheting row 6, and if you look at row 7 reads single crochet 5 times and then single crochet 2 together, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then the rest of the round reads single crochet 9 times, single crochet 2 together, repeat that 2 more times, and then single crochet 4 times. So the last sort of stitch that we have to know how to do this pattern is the single crochet 2 or 3 together. This row calls for single crochet 2 together. So we will first start with our 5 single crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it says we want to single crochet 2 together. So that requires sticking your hook through one stitch, and then the next stitch, what I like doing is I like going between, because when you normally crochet, you'll have these 2 bars from the stitch below. When I decrease, I like splitting that stitch and then that way it sort of hides the decrease. So we are single crocheting 2 together. So we'll grab that front bar and the one next to it. We'll split that stitch as well, and then pull the yarn through both, and then that will be our decrease. Okay, so then we can continue on with row 7, and then row 8 to 13 is just going to be single crochet 40 times. That's the entire round. So each stitch will just be stitched, and then we will come back after you complete rows 14 and 15 as well to show you how to place the nose and the eyes, and also how to stuff it. Now in your kit you'll have these little eyes and noses, and you'll want to just situate these wherever you like. You can just pop them in like this, and then there's a post on the back, and along with the eyes and the noses you'll also be giving the post, or the stopper for the post, and you can just pop that on and secure it, and that's what'll keep the eyes in place on your little plushie. Okay, and then once you do that, then you're ready to stuff it. And now when you stuff, you're going to want to stuff it pretty full. So in the kits you'll be given some polyfill, and this was a stitch that that the hook should be in. I just pulled it out a bit so I don't have to keep the hook in there while I stuff it, and then I can just pop the hook back in when I'm ready. But so you just want to stuff, stuff it up, and then it's already starting to take some shape, as you can see. And this particular pattern calls for it to be pretty, what did it say? Stuff well. So we want it to be pretty firm. So that's about as much stuffing as I'll put in there. And then this is the current stitch that I'm working with. And then I'll finish going around, and then I will sew up the bottom of the head. So this is where you end off when you finish row 17, and then, so there's not that big of a hole when you're finished. So I snipped my yarn. I left a long tail because we'll use the yarn to actually sew this closed. And then this is the last stitch, and I just pull it all the way through. And that just sort of secures that last stitch, and then we can weave in the ends. To make the legs and ears, follow the instructions. As you can see, these both start with a 5 single crochet magic circle compared to the 4 single crochet magic circle that we used when we made the head. So you just want to do the same thing we did with the beginning for the head, but just do 5 stitches instead of 4. And like the head, when you finish the 4 legs and 2 ears, make sure that you leave a long enough tail at the end so we can attach them to the body. And then, as I showed you, just pull the tail through that last stitch, and then you can use that tail to sew it into the rest of the body, but that also secures the last stitch as well. Now when you're ready to start the tail, you're going to want to do the magic circle method again, and instead of 4 or 5 like the head or the ears and legs, you want to do 6 stitches in the magic circle. And then for each round that you do, you're just going to be doing a single crochet. So it's just going to be like one long spiral, and that's going to finish the tail. And remember, when you're done, when you pull the tail through that last stitch, to leave a long tail of yarn so you can attach it to your amigurumi. Okay, so I attached 3 legs. I like 3-legged cats. So I attached 3 legs and its little tail, and that's what we have. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this project.